Who's familiar with the Jeopardy series on television? Okay, was anyone here to witness the Agency Jeopardy session last year? Okay, so this is the sequel, the second series of the session. What we've done is we've based a series of questions on the answers given by many of the World Federation of Advertisers surveys, and we're here to find out how closely correlated our media agencies are to some of the needs and insights and viewpoints of the international advertiser community. This is the chance for the advertisers to respond, the agencies to respond to some of the points made in this panel debate. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's play Jeopardy. Froze. Okay, can I please welcome up Ashish from Aegis Media, Chairman of Aegis Media Southeast Asia. Come on up, Ashish. John Sintras, CEO of Starcom Australia and Head of the Global Product Group of SMG. Sasha Savage. Come on up, Sasha, CEO of Mediacom USA. Who do we have here? We have Marco Bertozzi, MD EMEA for VivaKi. Come on, Marco, up you come. Do I see Dominique Delport, CEO of Havas Media? Dominique, please take your stand. And last but certainly not least, who do we have? Steve Blakeman from OMD Asia. Come on up. Okay. So, we're going to finish this session today with a quick fire 3 rounds, okay? Let's pit our wits against the questions from the World Federation of Advertisers. But first of all, let's have a little bit of a warm-up. Did I say the rules? I didn't. Rules are, buzz in first if you think you know the answer. It's a series of different questions. If you get it wrong, you're out. Okay, but only for the first question. Then someone else can buzz in. Do you understand? Are we ready to go? It's 1 point for a correct answer, nothing for no answer. You don't get penalized if you lose. There's no electrocution. It's all fine, okay? The winner gets an amazing prize, and let's go. First question, ladies and gentlemen, for the quickfire warm-up. Let's go. What was the most downloaded song on iTunes in 2012? Wow, Marco!
It happens to be my favourite song, Call Me Maybe.
Oh my goodness me, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause. He's right. Call Me Maybe by Carly Rae Jepsen.
It's my
just
playlist.
make sure he doesn't sing my...
Hey, I just met you.
And
This
there
is
it is.
crazy.
Fantastic.
But here's my number.
Okay,
So call me maybe.
next question. Next question. Facebook had one of the highest IPOs in US history when it debuted on the US stock market in 2012. But what was the original flotation value of the social networking firm? Was it A, 205, B, 104 billion, C, 80 billion, or D, 150 billion? Marco!
104.
Correct, ladies and gentlemen, he's in. This is very, very good. Okay, so it's 2-0. Are you ready, guys? You ready to buzz in? Trying. Is this a factor of generation here? You the youngest member of the panel?
Probably.
I doubt it.
Okay.
Steve King
Have you
tips.
seen my hair?
Okay, let's see if you can do as well in question 3. The question is, ladies and gentlemen, who did Justin... John Sintras.
I'm embarrassed to even try and answer this. Selena Gomez.
Oh my goodness me, Selena Gomez. Although the word on the street is that they're actually back together.
again.
But there we go. How did you know that, John?
Oh, I have young kids.
Right, okay. I think you don't harbour a little crush on the young American actress, do you?
No,
No, okay. Okay, so that was, ladies and gentlemen, our warm-up round. Give them a round of applause. Okay, this is a test of memory as well as skill and knowledge, because you'll have heard this before. What percentage of clients think that direct dealings with media owners are set to increase? Is it? Sasha Savage.
59%.
Nope. John Sintras.
75%.
Yes, indeed. Give him a round of applause. 75%. Now, what came out in the panel discussion was whether that was a threat or an opportunity for the media buying world. Steve, what's your viewpoint on the increasing role that media owners are playing? I mean, we heard earlier that Nestle was saying that they have Salesforce.com at the table, Facebook, Google. They seem to look at the partners in the same way as their media agencies. Is that a challenge for you guys?
I think in the previous session somebody mentioned that it was a three-way partnership. I think it's increasingly becoming that. Certainly that's what we're advocating. I think it has to be a triumvirate going forward.
Okay. Dominique, again, how are you moving your business model to sort of try and, instead of just being a partner that buys media, someone who can sit in a much more complicated ecosystem of partners?
I think it was another answer, which is about ICP and the way for us to be more integrated. So as Yannick explained it this morning, pushing forward integration, even between creative and media. That nice concept of Havas village. It's not the Gallic village of Asterix. It's not the village people. It's just something where everyone is under one single roof with one P&L, and it really delivers great added value because it's simple. People want simplicity, not boring organization structure to deal with.
Marco, you're very much an expert in the digital world. Do you think it's a big challenge for media agencies that they can't afford the talent coming out of the business schools and the universities around the world that the Googles and the Facebooks now can? Is that a challenge you face?
I think now we're trying, as the world moves into more data and programmatic and so on, I think more than ever we're probably competing a little bit more with those companies to get talent. But they are very different organizations, and I think we're still, we're not still looking for the sort of top-end Google graduates that they would be employing, but we do want people that perhaps are now shifted more towards a slightly more numeric data, mathematical end of the scale than perhaps we were even 2 or 3 years ago.
Ashish, would you describe Aegis Media as a digital business, a content business, or a media buyer?
Actually, none of those. I would say it's a business that's centered around the consumer and the client, but definitely it would include all of those. And going forward, more and more of that.
Okay, fair enough. John, talking of relationships with media buyers, SMG has just done a global deal with Twitter. How much is that worth? Is it just simply a buying deal, or is there something a bit more sophisticated going on?
Well, I can't go into too many details about the commercial nature of it, but Twitter is now of a scale and cultural significance that we felt there was value for our clients to do the first upfront. So it's absolutely about first to market advantage, but it's about better understanding what Twitter's contributing in the first instance to the TV social experience and also real-time consumer understanding feeding into client campaigns.
There's still some debate over whether Twitter is a brand-building medium or whether it's a data deliverer to enhance brand understanding. Which,
it's both.
You believe both?
And things we haven't even imagined yet.
Okay.
Can I just say on the earlier point?
Yeah, of course.
We don't have a right to be at any table in terms of the media relationship with vendors. If agencies aren't adding value to the table, we shouldn't be at the table. So it is an agency's obligation to make sure they're one step ahead, and clients absolutely need them there. It's not our right.
Okay. Sasha, a related question. Have media agencies, which is obviously sounding like a very old term now, we've got to invent a new name for what you do, but have you cracked the remuneration problem when it comes to relationships between clients and the media, do you think?
We're working on it. It's a complex question. We live in a world where media agencies are still largely judged by efficiencies they're delivering to clients on the buying side, especially in the big markets. I work in the US. All of us, we're testing different models where actually it's not about price, it's about value. And value comes in many, many different ways. I mean, one of the questions that you had in your survey was test and learn. On one side, you can save money through volume and through negotiations. On the other side, I think clients sometimes can gain much more if they test new things and new technologies and new ideas and new way of thinking. So I'm seeing already in some attempts in the new business and with some existing clients to reframe remuneration model to be more value-based. which will then include also a larger portion of payment being based on results and everything else.
Okay, fair enough. We keep saying that at every event, but do you
it's
see the
getting
percentage
more and more
of
real now.
that remuneration growing every year?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Let's move to our second question of the second round. Are we ready? Fingers on buzzers, please, gentlemen. I've always wanted to say that. Okay, the question is, true or false? Don't jump in until I've finished the question. The majority of clients polled by the World Federation of Advertisers think that they will require the services of media agencies in 5 years' time. It's John Sintras.
True.
It is true. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Now, that's probably a relief, but it's probably no surprise, I guess, because the need, what you do is important. But my question really is, first of all, into Steve, the relationship with the creative agencies. Tell me a bit about how that's developing in this new digital marketplace.
I think increasingly the relationship with creative agencies, whether they are third party or part of the group, they're improving. I think it's been difficult over the course of the past 5 to 10 years, and actually one of the themes in the previous session, I think, kind of touched upon that as well, but actually who's really at the heart of the decision-making process. And clearly at the media agency side, we like to think that we are media first and all that. But I think we need to forge closer bonds. I think that spirit of partnership really doesn't exist in the way it should do. And even within group, occasionally you do get that sibling rivalry. And it's actually easier, I think, sometimes to work with third-party agencies than it is to actually work within agencies within the group, strangely enough.
Dominique, would you agree?
Probably the relationship between creative and media was a bit like Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez, so back and forth. I think that what we try to operate is something radically different, because when we look at, we have one creative network, worldwide scale, and multi-awarded, and one media network. So we haven't to face the same multi-layer issue. And we need to find our blue ocean because of that difference. And developing shared entities, like in the content production, let's take the example of the Havas Village in Paris, where we've got 100 people, journalists, producing content for TV, for broadband portal, and so on. I mean, they are providing this service for both parts. So it has a middle office expertise center that can provide this for both parts. And again, I think that the gravity center is moving. I love the analogy with the rock band and the orchestra. And I think that we need definitely to manage differently the way for common clients we work together. But if we develop a seamless and simple one P&L approach, I think that we can avoid many problems and then create added value together. It's our path, so let's see how it works.
Thank you. Marco, a lot's been talked today and out in the showcase areas about the power of data to understand consumers and the interactions between consumers and media. Do you think that the media agencies are in a good place to develop that knowledge and ultimately use the data to come out with better creative products than the traditional creatives do? Can you base great creative on data insights as opposed to just simply being a great copywriter of the days gone by?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing to say is, there's a lot of focus on technology and data, and people obsess about those subject matters at the moment. At the heart of it, though, we're still talking about storytelling. We're talking about digital storytelling, and there are, whether it's distribution of content, whether it's planning using data, there is a new skill set that you have to adopt. And I think, generally speaking, the media agency community has moved pretty quickly in that space. When it comes to creative agencies, I'd still categorize them into sort of the older type, if we like, and then companies like Razorfish and Digitas within our group, who we would see, working very closely with those guys because they're very much at the forefront. I think the bigger creative agencies have been slower to evolve. So I think the media agencies, the digital agencies are in a good space, but I think we need to sort of collaborate across the whole group to bring some of those other agencies up to speed.
And how does that collaboration happen? Is it the client that has to make that happen, grab different players within a group by the scruff of the neck, or can the organization evolve and respond to that demand?
Well, I think the onus is probably more on the organisation to bring skill sets up to pace, but then the likes of VivaKi, the whole premise of VivaKi was bringing together different agencies and Publicis Group as a whole. The whole idea is we're collaborating. The view that one agency can do it all, I think is kind of outdated now, and I think we all have to realise that working amongst our community of agencies is the way forward. Okay. With that comes teething problems and a little bit of growing pains, but as long as you sort of stick with that premise, then I think we can all develop together.
Thank you. Sasha, a question to you. You've recently launched the Beyond Advertising concept, which seems to sort of try and stretch MediaCom into a new territory. It looks rather like a creative agency. Can you explain a bit about how that's going and what sort of things you've done for clients with this new proposition?
So we launched in US MediaCom Beyond Advertising last year. It's a division that exists around the world, and I think it's a little bit different if I compare that to similar entities in other agencies. I think what we try to do is to merge science and creativity. So not just to get back to clients with a great ideas, because it's relatively easy to have good idea, but the question is how you're going to distribute that. Does it make sense for the given brand and given time for the particular audience? So our model is really kind of merging technology understanding driven by data and working with the creative people inside the agency and outside the agency to create ideas that make people see brands differently. I mean, and whole drive behind that was that we can have lots of discussion what is the biggest challenge that clients and their brands are facing, but one of the biggest ones is that consumers, they do not differentiate brands. Advertising look and feel the same, products are kind of same or similar. So we're trying to use technology and data to inform ideas and then to make people kind of experience brands differently. One of the examples of that is work we did for Volkswagen last year, where kind of simple insight was that urban man is dreaming about adventures, and that's why they're driving big SUVs, but none of them actually ever went fishing or anything like that. So we kind of applied that a little bit to kind of reframe understanding of Volkswagen Beetle, which was becoming a little bit girly car in US. And we partnered with the Discovery Channel and created a whole campaign around Beetle being like a shark cage, which totally changed the way that people think about Beetle, which was our original idea.
Thank you. Well, we'll see that in the shortlist of the awards. John, how do you explain to clients, when we're talking about the role of media agencies, the difference between Leo Burnett and Liquid Thread? In terms of, how the creative products differ and the different sort of brands differ within your organisation?
Liquid Thread is really about branded entertainment in its purest form, but we don't think of it as a separate silo or a separate channel. It is part of a holistic and meaningful experience that we're trying to design for clients. So, this whole argument is so old-fashioned. This notion for control comes from a basic human desire where everyone wants to control the process, whether it's the client or the agencies. And I think we've all just got a little... what can you control in this, this universe where everything's out of control? And it's about ownership. Everyone wants to own the strategy. Well, the only people that own anything are consumers. So we all need to sort of grow up, collaborate, and clients want leadership, not control. And leadership is about letting go and respecting diversity of thought around the table.
Yeah. Ashish, what's Aegis Group doing in the area of the creation of content?
Quite a bit. I think it is actually in our company being driven by the digital agencies more than anything else, but there are pockets in different markets where, television still is very important, and therefore there's a lot of that happening. But more and more I see that Isobar and our digital companies, iProspect and so on, are really at the forefront of it. And to me, the line between creative and media agencies, particularly in the digital space, is completely blurred. I don't think... I think 10 years from now, we won't be discussing that this was a creative agency or this was a media agency.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, gentlemen. I've realised it's all gentlemen, isn't it? And that's terrible. Next year, we'll bring some ladies to the panel. I do apologise. Anyway, okay, let's move on to our final question of this round. Fingers on buzzers, please, gents. Where do There it is. The majority of clients think that the best integrated marketing solutions come from. We haven't even seen the answers, but I am going to accept it. John Sintras, what is it?
Themselves.
Can you see these answers here? Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for John. It is indeed. Of course, we touched on it earlier with the panel. 75% believe that the ideas come from themselves, the clients, and they also think that you guys don't have the structure to provide integrated solutions. Let's just go around from Ashish back. What can you do to reassure clients that you genuinely have the structure to create ideas and deliver them in an integrated way?
Well, actually take a step back. I genuinely don't believe that most agency groups do have the structure to be able to deliver it. And I think that's an area, if we introspect, all of us have to work on it. Because if you look at what clients are asking any part of the world, they're saying that we want all the benefits of specialization without the hassles of siloization. So all your logos and your brands and so on and so forth, we're not concerned about it. We want somebody who's going to own it, and we want you to structure yourself through that. And I would think almost every single agency group is actually struggling with that. People are in different modes. Everybody is rapidly trying to get there because we've seen the writing on the wall, and I think we will get there, and we have definitely improved from where we were. But I would think for almost every agency group, it's work in progress.
Okay, well, let's go to the other side here. Steve, bring you in, Steve. Do you agree with that? I mean, do you think it's fair for advertisers to think that, the majority think that you guys aren't structured to deliver the sort of solutions that they need?
No, I don't agree with that at all. And actually, I think it links into a point that John made previously about where great ideas come from. I don't think anyone has ownership. A great idea can come from anywhere. Actually, I think it's slightly arrogant to say that they can only come from one source.
Okay. Dominique, do you think the role that procurement is playing in the agency-client relationship is a help or a hindrance to this idea of idea creation and integrated marketing strategies?
It's a fact. So we need to work with it because in a way we are a part of that procurement role, but we are outsourced. So we have the same goal. And again, it's all about value creation. And to jump on your point, I think that when we look at that, we should also look at what consumers are talking about. And they just talk about when you ask them what meaningful brands are among hundreds and thousands of brands, only 20% of them are really meaningful for consumers. All the others can be skipped like that. And that's the main problem we collectively need to face. Procurement, again, are in the loop too. So how can we help our clients for their brands to be more meaningful tomorrow in order for them to be sustainable and to still connect with consumers that just struggle? They struggle for life, they struggle for consumption in many countries. And we need to be aware of that billions of people that just discovering how to play that game. And I think that it's our duty to be humble, hard worker, in order to fix that issue very quickly.
Marco, at VivaKi, is there sort of a case study you can cite where you've managed a great idea and run it in an integrated way for the client?
Well, I mean, what we're focused on, we're focused on working with the agencies as far as audience on demand is concerned. So we've set up the trading desk, and our focus is on scaling solutions that, which we hope will accelerate the sort of digital innovation within the agencies. So it's a kind of slightly different process for us.
I'm sure we will come to the issue of trading desks in a minute in the questioning. Any more things to add from our three this side?
I would just say I think structure is a crutch. It's not about structure, that's an excuse. I think it's about culture, and it's about creative leadership and having people that are grown up enough to know when they do and don't need to buy in additional research to, to solve a particular problem.
Thank you.
I think there is one more thing, and that's really capabilities and knowledge in the agency. It's kind of funny that we talk about this, but integration in IMC is becoming product of the agencies, product that could be sold. And we're pitching for that role of being leader in integrated marketing with anyone else from the agency roster. Now, reality is that to be integrated in today's world, you're kind of looking for Leonardo da Vinci's who understand many, many different things. Reality is that traditional media training that media agencies they've been applying do not provide enough for the agency personnel to be capable of delivering that. So I think it's structure on one side, but also training and how do we get people of different profiles in the agency to be able to deliver to clients what they expect us to do.
Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to move into the final round, ladies and gentlemen, but let's just have a quick look at the scores on the doors. And we have, in first place, it's John Sintras. In second, it's Marco VivaKi. Give them a round of applause, please. Okay, but there is still a round to go, so anything can change. Okay, round 3, and the final round before we can all go and have drinks and discuss the many issues that have come out of this today. It is about digital and integrated, but we'll talk mainly about digital. This is a true or false answer, so it's a really quickie, but you can only do it when I've finished the sentence, okay? Are you ready? True or false? Watch them, ladies and gentlemen. True or false? The majority of advertisers think that their own digital capabilities are under-resourced. Dominique?
True.
It is true. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, 66% of clients themselves said they just don't have the capabilities in digital and data. Is that a surprise, Dominique, to you?
No, because I think that there is that learning curve that is completely shaped by that innovation process. That is every month something new. And you need to define what is just a small trend or something that is structural. And when we talk about the social space, there was a lot of doubts, even with the Facebook valuation and so on. But I mean, they will never come back. So it's massive. And now it's disrupt not only the media sphere, but the ecosystem and the business model of each. I mean, Itaú presentation and Tesco, and it's business that are transformed by the social movement and digital and innovation capabilities. So from retail, automotive, the way people behave, people consume, and the way they buy things will dramatically change, especially for the millennial. Yeah. And I think that if we don't look at that, I think that we won't get it. It's beyond media, dramatically for all of us.
Steve, everyone's been talking today about mobile, and we saw some insights from Zenith earlier just about the amount of spend, how it's just incredibly low compared to the amount of usage and time that obviously we have with our handsets. Do you think that your organization is doing enough to bring clients into the mobile age?
Yes, we are. Certainly within Asia Pacific, we've launched our mobile advertising division in the past 12 months. It's beginning to yield results already. Are we doing enough as an industry? No, I don't think we are. I think we need to drive it forward and accelerate it much faster than we've done so far. I still find it extraordinary as well that we're not moving faster towards digital. You look at those spends today, and I think that the comment was made that actually is pretty global. I think that was US figures, if I remember correctly. But I think that's pretty standard around the world. And we've got to do more. Clients have got to be braver, and we've got to give them more options as well.
Okay, thank you very much. John, the same question to you. Bringing clients into the mobile world, do you think you're doing it fast enough?
We're trying to, but it's not happening anywhere near as fast as it needs to. I'm constantly surprised.
And what's the barrow? Why not?
Just too difficult. Even simple things like M sites, the number of clients that still haven't, adapted their sites to be accessible on mobile is really quite astounding. And you'd think that was cost of entry in today's world.
Okay. Sasha?
I think one of the barriers is also content. I think listening Nestle today, presentation from Nestle, I mean, creative agencies, they also need to realize that something that works on TV or big screen not necessarily works on small screen. So reality is that mobile is very much about real-time content now. Now, if you have your internal process which prescribed that to approve something on the content side, it is going to take 3 months. There is nothing much about real time if it takes 3 months to create something that will work. So I think it's about resources on one side, but also It just costs more. I mean, it's more requirements, more budget needed to create assets for it.
Are the clients willing to pay?
They say they are, but we've seen that mobile is kind of one of the test and learn projects usually get cut before it gets executed.
Interesting.
So.
Ashish, Aegis obviously many years ago sort of were quite pioneering in their acquisitions in terms of digital agents and so on with iProspect and in search and so on. But where next? Where do you feel for your strategy the next frontier of digital is going to be, where you'll be spending more of Aegis money and more of your time?
I think there is going to be a lot more emphasis on mobile, continuing the same trend which you were just asking. But I think, the amount of numbers of mobiles is what we've been chasing, but I don't think as an industry we've really learned how to monetize it right. And I don't think we've learned to educate our clients well enough what all they can do for it. And definitely I think that's an area where all agencies are going to focus a lot more in the next maybe 12 to 14 months.
Thank you very much. Okay, we've got time for the final question, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready? Fingers on buzzers, please. And here it is. What percentage of brand managers claim to be very confident in their knowledge of DSPs and programmatic buying? My goodness me. Marco?
Whatever the smallest number is.
Reveal the answers. No, it's Steve Blakeman.
I'm going for D, less than 10%.
You are right. You were both right, but you buzzed in too early. Round of applause for Steve Blakeman, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, but Marco, because of that, I'm going to give you the first question. You've recently done a very interesting deal with DoubleClick. Can you explain how that works?
Well, it's less
in
a deal.
one sentence.
No, we partner with DoubleClick in this whole real-time space. Our partnership goes back many years, so it's not necessarily a recent thing. But this is really just about the evolution of digital buying away from buying up front, seeing what's working, and evaluating afterwards, to making that decision in the moment and knowing who your consumer is and buying them. So avoiding wastage, better targeting, and so on.
Okay, in one-word answer, please, just quickly around the panel, ladies and gentlemen. From you first, Steve. Just tell me, are clients justified, yes or no, in worrying about DSPs when it comes to arbitrage and the transparency of the systems you're selling to them through your trading desks? Are they right to be worried?
Yes.
Okay, Dominique.
Yes, I think that we need to train them, because it's completely new.
Okay.
And we jump from media planning to audience planning. So I think that we need more and more to talk and explain and
Marco?
open books.
Do you think there's justified concerns in this new era of programmatic?
You want it more word? I don't think so, because I think the advertisers are working with agencies in the normal fashion, and trading desks are just another media option that have to either perform or not. And it's up to the agency, it's up to the advertiser and the trading desk to make sure everyone's happy with commercials.
Okay. Clients right to be worried?
As long as agencies are partnering with the clients to create and design trading desks, no.
Okay.
Clients should be asking the right questions to make sure they have a level of comfort about transparency and what value they're getting out of a demand-side platform.
Okay. So, and finally, Ashish.
Not at all. I think they need to be excited, but I think they need to understand it a lot more, and we need to explain it much better.
Okay. Thank you very much. Time has beaten us, ladies and gentlemen. Could you please give a huge round of applause to our panelists? I hope that was interesting and insightful. I would now like, as you probably know, Steve King, the CEO of Zenith, won it last year. He won a car, which we're very pleased about. Can we please reveal the final scores, ladies and gentlemen? Ladies and gentlemen, it's John Sintras is the winner of the agency Jeopardy. Round of applause. Thank you. It's an amazing prize.
Don't keep me in suspense any longer.
It was a car last year. John, you've just won a helicopter. Can we just see it here now? Where's it going? There it is. He's won a helicopter! There we go, mate. It's not a real one. Okay. Thank you very much for being good sports, guys. Really appreciated. One final round of applause before we close the conference. Thank you.